Olá para vocês, ouvintes da Rádio Banda B e seguidores do portal Banda B. Está começando mais uma entrevista exclusiva. Eu sou o Rodrigo Silva e a conversa de hoje é internacional. Neste dia 28 de abril, a Pedreira Paulo Leminski, em Curitiba, vai receber a Banda Kiss, um dos maiores grupos da história do rock. Nosso convidado de hoje aqui na Banda B é ele que é baixista, vocalista e fundador da banda. Gene Simmons está conectado aqui comigo. Mr. Simmons, it's a pleasure to be talking to you, and thank you for accepting the invitation for this interview with Banda B.
Obrigado.
Let's start the interview by talking about the shows that will happen in Brazil. The shows are a part of the end of the road world tour.
Yeah.
They had to be postponed about 3 times because of the pandemic. And you guys have performed in Pedreira Paulo Leminski here in Curitiba in April 2015. Tell me, what are your memories from Curitiba, Gene?
Well, every time we've come to Brazil, it's been amazing, going all the way back to 1982, when we played Rio Stadium for almost 200,000 people. Belo Horizonte was about 135,000. And then one other place, I forgot where we played, which was 70,000. And the amazing memories we have is that the army, the Brazilian army, was our security system. So we had tanks that were going in front and back of us, and we were inside armored tanks. We could see outside, but outside, we were on the inside, like where they take money, from the banks, but with tank treads on the side, and there were troops, and they closed down the highways. It was crazy. But the best thing about Brazil is the people, the music, the party, carnival, the love of life, the music, the history, and of course, the beautiful women. Something in the water, I don't know what it is. The most important thing, though, is our job when we come and play for you and put on the biggest party in the world is to make you forget about what your president thinks about the pandemic. Don't listen to politicians, all politicians. They all lie. Don't listen to anybody. Make up your own mind about things. Read things and make up your own mind. But also our job is to make you forget about the problems of the world only for that concert. If you can forget about the traffic jam, or that your girlfriend is complaining, or very sadly that there's a war right now where the Russians invaded Ukraine. It's very sad, breaks my heart, because I know lots of Russians and they're not like that. It's always about the politicians, the assholes who have the power. Our job is to make you forget about that magic time, so that you forget about the problems of the world, at least while you're in the Kiss concert. And if we can do that, then we do our job.
To come back to Brazil feels special.
It's going to be special for us. I can't wait. We've always had amazing times.
You guys started the farewell tour in 2019. There were some breaks due to the pandemic, but I was wondering, how did this decision actually came along? When you guys actually decided that this would be the band's last tour? Was it for a specific reason?
Well, let me just say this. If I was in U2, I'd be very lucky. And if I was The Edge, I would be very talented. But then all I have to do is to put on a t-shirt and some sneakers and just strum my guitar. That's it. Your heart doesn't go crazy. You don't sweat like crazy. And at the end of the concert, you're not tired. But if you put Jagger or The Edge or Bono or anybody in my outfit and make them do what I do, they would pass out in a half hour. I have to wear 7 to 8 inch platform heels, the dragon boots. Each of them weighs as much as a bowling ball. That's almost 10 pounds per foot. And they have to be heavy because they can't break. So they have to be really well made. We have metal inside of them so that the heels don't break off. They're literally bigger than my face, my heel. And the armor and the studs, it's about 40 pounds. So I have to spit fire, fly through the air, and do that for 2 hours. And 2 hours before the concert, I have to put on makeup. And after the concert, I have to have a half hour or 40 minutes to take off the makeup. So if anybody did that, they'd pass out. That's the problem. So when you're 72, and I am, still good, still strong, if I continue doing this until I'm like a blues singer into your 80s, that's not good. Because it wouldn't, remember, in the shows we say, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world. Well, I don't want to do a show if you're not the hottest band in the world, when you're too old. And all of us have seen some bands that have stayed on stage too long. Better to quit a little early when you still have your pride and things like that. You understand?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And according to the Kiss official website, the end of the Road World Tour ends in October 7th. In the end of the same month, we'll have the Kiss Cruise. And I want to know, what are the band's plans after the Kiss Cruise? Do you guys already have a date for a possible Kiss farewell concert, maybe?
Well, on the Kiss Cruise, very sad, we're planning to have Taylor Hawkins and his band play there. He asked us, can we please play, because he has a side band, and he passed away. And so sad. He was a sweetheart, a heart of gold, a monster on, in music. Let me close the door. Hold on. But the main thing we should remember is Taylor passed away because of drugs. Don't forget that. And that means it's a lesson for you. Every time we hear about this, and I wrote a book called 27, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, all of them, so many of them, drugs and alcohol. That's what kills you. And cigarettes give you cancer. So it's sad, but maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's a lesson for everybody to think about what you put in your body. I'm not your mother and I'm not your father, but don't be stupid. Don't put things in your body that will kill you. Don't do it.
Recently, we had the passing of Taylor and a gigantic loss for rock and roll itself. Let's talk about the music industry. Today, we don't have rock phenomenons like with the strain of bands like Kiss or like Foo Fighters, for example. What do you think about that?
So the new bands today don't have a chance. They can't make a living, so they have to have a job. And who killed rock? The fans. The fans did it because you stop paying for music. When you download and you file share, you're hurting new bands. So new bands don't have a chance. And if you think about it, from 1958 until 1988, that's 30 years, we had Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, the Stones, Elvis, U2, Prince, David Bowie, just even disco, you had Madonna, you had Pink Floyd, you had the biggest bands of all time. You had Motown, and AC/DC and Metallica and Iron Maiden and you name it. From 1988 until 2022 is almost 40 years. Who is the new Beatles? Who is the new Elvis? Where are the Stones? Where's the new Stones? Nothing. Nothing. And that's only because bands, there's a lot of talent. There are very talented musicians, great writers and all that, but they can't earn a living. They have to work at something else. And if you don't have enough time for your art, you won't be able to become who you are. The Beatles worked 10,000 hours or more playing in club bands to learn how to become the Beatles, learn how to write songs and learn how to do that. But that's all they did. They were in a band all the time. Now you can't do that.
Gene, you talked about drugs, the danger of drugs. Let's talk about that. You don't drink, you never use drugs, you never smoked a cigarette. Were you inspired by someone?
Yes, my mother. My mother was in a concentration camp when she was 14 years old in Nazi Germany, and she survived, and she saw her whole family, our family, killed in front of us, in front of her. And her philosophy was every day above ground is a good day. Work hard, save your money, love people, be kind to people, and don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself. It's a simple idea. So the idiots of the world, especially young people, still smoke cigarettes. And it says on the cigarette, hey, asshole, you're going to die from cancer if you keep smoking cigarettes. It says so right on the cigarettes, and people still smoke. There is nothing that happens when you get high or when you become drunk. Nothing. Your dick doesn't get bigger. You don't get richer. You don't get better looking, and it costs money. There's nothing good from any of that. And in a book I wrote called 27, all the major rock stars died because of drugs and alcohol. John Entwistle from The Who, John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, Keith Moon from The Who, drugs, alcohol, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, on and on and on. Drugs and alcohol. That's what killed them. Not guys with guns. They killed themselves. Don't do it.
Let's go back a little bit. Let's talk again about the band, about Kiss. I heard in some interviews that Kiss will have a movie in Netflix. How is this production going?
It's starting now. We're going to have a motion picture with actors and everything. And we have an excellent director. There's going to be a Kiss cartoon. The Kiss World in Rio at the Las Vegas Rio Hotel is about to open. I was just there day before yesterday, and it's magnificent. And many, many other projects. There are many, many things. So Kiss will stop touring, but there will be other Kiss things. You know, there will be a Kiss show around the world.
What can the public expect from the Kiss concert in Curitiba in April, when when the Kiss concerts actually start in Brazil? And also, how would you call the population of Curitiba to attend the concert?
Well, look, we had 2 or more years to put together even more special effects and surprises. This will be the most amazing show you ever saw. For one thing, when the huge stadium-sized curtain falls down and there are bombs going off and fire and everything, even before the first chord, the band will not be on stage. Our drums, the full drum set and the drum riser and Eric is not going to be on stage. We're all going to come down from the heavens with fireworks and rockets and everything. And that's even before the first song. So the whole concert is going to be like that. So much going on, you don't know where to look. And that's my kind of concert. When I grew up, I saw my favorite bands because I liked their music. But when I saw them in concert, I was so disappointed because my ears liked it, but my eyes saw nothing. So our job is to put together the band that we never saw on stage. So even if you hate Kiss, you're going to come and see the best show you ever saw. That's our job. That's what we do. That's why we introduce ourselves with, you wanted the best, not second best, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world. And that's another reason why we're going to stop touring. I don't want to be in a band where people say, hey, remember when Elvis was young and used to do Heartbreak Hotel, you ain't nothing but a heart. And now you have that fat guy in Las Vegas. Nope. Quit while you're ahead. When you're the champion of the world, get off the stage. That's when you say thank you, and you quit as a champion. Don't quit when you're a loser.
Mr. Simmons, I would like to thank you for the interview and for taking the time to talk to Banda B. I wish Kiss a lot of luck, success, and also a lot of rock and roll on the tour in Brazil.
Tudo bem. Obrigado.
Essa entrevista na íntegra estará no YouTube do portal Banda B, e você pode escutar trechos no Instagram, no Twitter, vai ler ela tudo por escrito no portal Banda B e, é claro, na programação da rádio também. Então, você confere todos os detalhes dessa conversa com o Gene Simmons nos canais da Banda B. Até a próxima entrevista, pessoal!